Ninja Run is a creative coding board game to draw children's interest of coding. The players can control character movements by combining scripts, and the player who reaches the end first will win the game. Besides, all characters, scripts, and maps are physical, like a board game. There are 4 excellent team members in our team. They are Owen, Bowen, Liony, and Sulaiman. They play the roles of designer, programmer, and engineer based on their skills. With the development of digital technology, developed countries of Northern Europe and North America and East Asia have already started the digital education revolution to prepare the new digital economy. Programming as an indispensable tool, more and more countries have begun to teach children programming knowledge in elementary school and junior high school. However, a simple coding-based software training is often difficult to draw children's interest and create future value. Therefore, there is a need for software-oriented training of interest through the game.
This project is inspired by 2 games named 7 Billion Humans and Square of Neo and Swap. The first one is about learning the programming with simple language like step, jump, drop, and other words. Users need to finish the task that is given with the sequence of words that are chosen by them. We apply this concept to our project. Because this project should be physical, we found the other inspiration from the ghostly moving chess. The physical chess piece can move by itself. There is a controller under the board, similar to robot hand. So our idea is to create the game similar to 7 billion humans but with the physical characters and objects that can move on top of physical board. Based on our background and inspirations, this project purpose is separated into 3. Number 1 is to help people or audience learn about basic programming like move, if, and loop. We don't use any programming language in here, only the language that can be understood by users. That's why our second purpose is to improve people logic ability, and the last one is to get users' interest in the coding. Our main target audience is pre-teens, aged 9 to 11 years old. This range of age learns to solve problems using objects, and the way of learning is by seeing, hearing, exploring, experimenting, and asking questions. Our highlight is towards the experimenting by trying to make different sequences of words. Other possibility of our target audience are people who interest in programming and people who like to play physical games like.
In this part, I will introduce the concept of our idea. Our idea is an interactive game to help teenagers learn the logic of programming. It consists of 2 parts. The first part is the control module. It consists of camera and instruction blocks. The other part is the physical maze with small robot in it. So the task of this game is to control the robot to get to the destination as soon as possible. And the way people control the movement of the robot is to place a command block in correct order. The block has 6 sides and each side has a different command on it. These commands are like go forward, go backward, turn left, turn right, and some instructions for looping and judgment. It is actually a simple version of the programming language. The user only needs to place the side with the command they want to enter to the top. The camera will detect it and transfer it into code to control the movement of the robot. This game requires at least 2 players to participate. Players can compete with each other, and the player who reaches the end point fastest can win the game. Well, as for the maze, The maze wall is not necessarily ordinary maze wall. It can have some themes like we can decorate it like trees and buildings to create a context for the game. Well, the next part is about the storyboard. In the storyboard, the user is a teenager student who is interested about information technology. But programming is so hard for him, so he wants to find a way to improve his coding ability and train his programming thinking. One day he found an interactive game called Ninja Run, which is a creative learning game, and after hearing the introduction from the game creators, he understands how to play with it. Then, in order to control the robot to get to the destination as fast as possible, he thinks carefully. In this process, he gradually understands the logic of programming. So then he grabs the blocks and places them in order. The camera detects the blocks' instructions and converts them into code and transmits the instructions to the robot. Finally, the robot works out the maze in the right path. Then next, I will show you our demo prototype. Our next plan for this project is to do some user research, like workshop, interviews, and questionnaires, and find more inspirations from research papers. We also leave you some questions, and you can give us answer in the critic. Well, these three questions are all technical problems, and the first one is how to make the character move and turn left or right, and the second question is how to make the camera detect the QR code and translate it into the code to our computer. And the last question is which programming language can help us control the movement of robots. Thank you for watching.